I want to start with a funny story. I heard about a man. He was driving to an intersection that was monitored by cameras. If you ran a light and broke the law anyway, it'll take your picture and you'll receive a ticket in the mail. So he made sure to go extra slowly through the intersection, not break the law, but he noticed the cameras flashed. He thought, that's not right. Turned around and he drove to do it again even more slowly. Once again, he took his picture. He thought, this thing is messed up. They can't send me a ticket. Out of spite, he drove back to the intersection 3 more times, each time waving at the camera with a big smile. A week later, he received 5 tickets in the mail for not wearing his seatbelt. Friends, as we enter into a new year, I wish you all the best to be wiser, sharper, and more humble people, not making a fool of yourself. May God's blessings be with you all abundantly, extravagantly. Several years ago, there was a TV series called Early Editions. Take a look at the screen. Its storyline was about a young man. I'm sorry, I brought a picture of a Niagara Falls. I've never seen something like this. It's Frozen. Have you ever seen this one in the TV or internet? And the last time the Niagara Falls was frozen was about 1905 or something. Take a look at the next screen. I was really enjoy this picture. The people actually walk on the water like Jesus, isn't it? It's a Niagara Falls. Okay, go back to my message. Next screen. The Early Editions is the title. The storyline is about a young man who somehow was able to read tomorrow's newspaper today. In other words, he was able to know what was going to happen a day before it actually happened. It sounds pretty exciting. Now let me ask you, if you were able to know what was going to happen before it happened, how would you use that knowledge? Would you use it to enrich yourself? If you knew that the stock market was going down and up, would you buy low and sell high and make a lot of money? Or, I love this, would you become a hero? If you knew somebody was in danger and trouble would die, would you be there to prevent that from happening, like a Superman or Spider-Man? What do you do if you knew what was going to happen tomorrow? Well, the magazines and newspapers and some people are obsessed with the idea of trying to predict and learn the future, especially in the beginning of the new year. But the reality is, none of us usually knows the future here upon the earth. As far as we are concerned, our future, our life is uncertain. So if life is uncertain and we can't really know what will happen to us tomorrow, how do we face the future? What should we do? It's very easy. We can just pay attention and ask help to the one who knows the future. And as far as I know, there is the only one who really knows the future. And you and I absolutely know He made the universe, heavens and the earth, and every creature on earth, and even created time. He's the ruler of the past, of the present, of the future. So He has the answer. He is in control of time. In today's passage, God is talking to Joshua. Take a look at the screen. No one will be able to stand up against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to the land that I promised to your forefathers to give them. Be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Here's a young leader named Joshua. God freed the children of Israel from the Egyptian slavery. But because of their disobedience, they've been living in a wilderness for 40 years. Moses has just died, and now it is Joshua's turn to lead the people. 3 million people in the wilderness. Besides being the leader of the nation of Israel, God has given Joshua a project to complete. His first task was to lead this army into Canaan and the promised land, Canaan, and drive out all the enemies who live there. Sounds like an easy job, but remember, it's actually a formidable task. 40 years before this, under Moses' leadership, he has sent 12 spies into the land of Canaan. They came back with negative stories of giants living in the land who made them look like grasshoppers. When the people heard this, they became afraid and refused to enter the land. There were 7 nations living in Canaan. All of them are bigger, larger, and stronger than them. By all human standards, Joshua was facing an uphill battle now. He had every reason to turn tail and ran. He was nervous and afraid of his future. And that's why God is encouraging him now, saying over and over again, be strong and courageous. Don't be discouraged. Move forward with strength and courage in me, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Do you ever feel like you are facing an uphill battle in your life? Do you feel like the odds are against you? Honestly, there are hundreds of times in our lives when we are faced with situations that seems impossible to our eyes. There are outward circumstances like illness, sickness, and disabilities, broken relationships, financial hardships, rising household debt, the loss of a job, poor education. Then there is the inner conflicts that test our faith, like attacks on your personal integrity, remaining faithful when no one is looking, enduring the sting of loneliness and separations, standing alone when you are misunderstood. Not just that, we are living in the world, unstable world. We are still going through the severe economic crisis. Employment is down, house pricing is down, stock market seems to be broken, the national debt got bigger, the world peace got jeopardized more and more. And we are afraid of declining population of the community, of our community, aging people, decreasing employment opportunity, rising homeless people. As time goes by, we are heading to a tipping point of frustration. How many times in our lives we need to hear the one who is in control? How many times do we need to hear God's command to Joshua, be strong and courageous. I will be with you wherever you go. Friends, he keeps telling you all, when you walk in God's strength and courage, knowing who you are and whose you are, nothing can defeat you. What you are facing may seem bigger, stronger, more powerful, but deep down, don't be intimidated. The Creator of the universe has put the strength and courage on your life. The way we start out will determine how we finish. We need not fear the unfamiliar territory that God is leading us in. Even if you face problems and bad situations, I want to tell you, friends, don't magnify your problem. Don't magnify your problem. Magnify your God. The bigger you make God, the smaller your problem will become. When you feel the door is closed, God will open up a new door. It's interesting. When King David faced Goliath, he never called him a giant. Other people did. Other people, wow, look at the giant, but not David. He didn't magnify the obstacles. He just called him an uncircumcised Philistine. So he went to face Goliath and said, "This day I'll defeat you. I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." How could David, a teenager, no military experience, go out with such confidence and face Goliath? It's because he believed the strength and courage of God keeps his enemies from defeating him. I can imagine David running to the battlefield. Negative thoughts were bombarding his mind, saying, "David, this is a big mistake. He's going to kill you. This giant is too big. You better turn around." When you are facing a difficult time, what you are thinking matters. If you have negative thoughts yourself, that's going to limit what God can do. You've got to do like David and switch over to an attitude of faith. In other words, this sickness is no match for me. This trouble, this loneliness doesn't have a chance. I know the strength of God will protect me. I know God's strength will guide me to overcome all the troubles I'm facing now. Every day you need to declare this. When you have this faith to say, all the forces of darkness cannot stop you. A man was working in a convenience store. A robber, I heard that this is a true story. A robber came in with a gun. He told the man to open up the safe. The man was so nervous that he couldn't open it up quickly. The robber got upset and shot him in the chest, the point-blank range, ran out of the store. Other customers that were hiding rushed over to help the man, but they noticed there wasn't blood. They come to find out the man had his cell phone on the inside pocket in the jacket. When the robber shot him, the bullet hit the cell phone in the ricochet off. The paramedic said, "You are one lucky man." But we know the truth is, he wasn't just a lucky man. There was the grace of God calls on the cell phone to be at the right exact place. If it's not your time to go, you're not going to go. Why? The strength of God guides and protects you. I've experienced so many times about this. If it's not the time to go, God never allows you to go. Because in the past 1.5 years ministry, I've seen a lot of people who deceased who are dying. If God does not allow him or her to go, never go, because God's strength still holding them. I read an article about a man who was cleaning his hunting rifle when it accidentally went off. The bullet went up through his chin and was headed toward his brain. But along the way, the bullet hit the man's denture, and it slightly changed the course. The surgeon said that the bullet missed the main part of the brain by less than a millimeter. Had it not had that slight change impact, it would have certainly ended his life. And the doctor said, "You may not like your denture, but you better thank God for your denture." Friends, God is God who can use your cell phone, your false teeth, and whatever your weakness to spare your life. You don't have to live in fear even when you're facing hardships and troubles in your life. Don't go around worried, nervous, anxious, intimidated. The Creator of the universe has you in the palm of His hand. Nothing can snatch you away. God is in control of your life. He is our Father. He is our Creator. The prophet Isaiah said, take a look at the screen. "When you go through the water, I will be with you. You will not drown. When you go through the rivers, you will not sweep over you. That when you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." You may be in the fire today like Joshua, but you have a protector. You have a defender, deliverer, a waymaker, a dream giver, promise keeper, and He is a healer. No weapon formed against you can defeat you. What I couldn't do, God could do. God knows how to solve your problems. God knows how to change people's mind. God knows how to restore your financial situation. God knows how to treat your sickness. He's the one who made your body. God is not limited what you are facing. He is limited about what you are believing. When you trust, then invite Him into your life. He will be a part of your life every day. The winds that are trying to stop you, all God has to do is shift the direction. And instead of holding you back, they will push you forward. That's what God is doing all the time in our lives. As I wrap up, I'm wondering, what's your source of strength? What's your source of energy or wisdom? What's your source of hope for 2014? The Apostle Paul said, I can do everything through Him who gives me strength. Paul saying, I can master every circumstance that comes my way if my faith and trust is solid in Christ Jesus. Everyday life, we should say, Lord, I recognize my power is based on your strength. So, Lord, I want to thank you that your grace is protecting me, guiding me, and leading me today. Every day in the morning when you wake up, say that, Lord, thank you for the new day. I trust your power. It's leading me, guiding me, protecting me. I'm going to walk along with you this whole day, every day. Folks, that's how to face the future. Life is filled with ifs. But you can face the future if you put your faith and trust in Jesus. If you find your strength and courage in God. If you seek His plan for your life. And if you step out in faith to do what is pleasing to Him. I pray God's mercy and grace be with you. May God bless you and keep you in the right and safe and abundant way in this 2014. Amen.